Some drivers taste champagne the moment they arrive in Formula One. Others spend years chasing it, switching teams, dodging bad luck, and suffering heartbreak after heartbreak before finally stepping onto that elusive podium. Today, we're breaking down F1's longest and shortest journeys to that top 3 finish. From Nico Hülkenberg's emotional breakthrough to Lewis Hamilton's debut masterclass. This is the story of the race to the first podium. Nico Hülkenberg, the longest wait in F1 history. Nico Hülkenberg's F1 career is defined by resilience, tough luck, and near misses. He debuted in 2010 with Williams and instantly showed promise, securing pole position at the Brazilian Grand Prix during his rookie year. But that elusive first podium stubbornly slipped away. Over the next 239 races, Hulkenberg drove for Williams, Force India, Sauber, Renault, Racing Point, and returned to Sauber in 2025. At almost every stop, he rubbed shoulders with glory. In Brazil 2012, he led the race before contact with Lewis Hamilton ended his bid. In Germany 2019, he was in P4 in changeable conditions until he slid off the track. He became known as the best driver never to reach the podium, a title he wore for over a decade. Then came July 6, 2025. At Silverstone, in a chaotic British Grand Prix marked by rain, strategic pit calls and safety cars, Hulkenberg finally broke through. Despite starting P19, he navigated the chaos with surgical precision. A perfectly timed switch to intermediates on lap 11, early calls from the Sauber pit wall, and error-free driving catapulted him into third place by lap 34. As the checkered flag fell, Hulkenberg secured his maiden podium, his 239th start, making it the longest wait in F1 history. He held off Lewis Hamilton on worn tyres and claimed third behind Norris and Piastri, who completed an all-British first and second for McLaren. Sauber's response was loud and emotional. Are they back at midfield? You bet, especially with Audi's upcoming takeover. The paddock exploded with relief and celebration. Hulkenberg himself admitted it felt surreal. I think we just were really on it with the right calls, the right tyres, made no mistakes, quite incredible. Even veteran drivers like Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen praised him, saying it was long overdue. After 15 years and 239 races, Nico Hülkenberg finally shed the unwanted record and stood on the podium. His breakthrough resonated beyond personal triumph. It validated his talent, the team's development, and perhaps marked the beginning of a new era for Sauber. Carlos Sainz, 100 races of grit. Carlos Sainz made his Formula One debut in 2015 with Toro Rosso, stepping into a spotlight that often dimmed under the shadow of his then teammate, Max Verstappen. But Sainz quietly built a reputation for resilience and racecraft. He climbed through the ranks. 2017 saw him move to Renault, 2019 to McLaren, always staying just outside the podium places, fast but never crossing that final line. That changed in dramatic fashion at the 2019 Brazilian Grand Prix. On November 17th at Interlagos, Sainz crossed the finish line in 4th, his best result to date, but the drama wasn't over. Lewis Hamilton was slapped with a 5-second penalty for colliding with Alexander Albon late in the race. The time penalty dropped Hamilton to 7th, promoting Sainz to P3. McLaren erupted. It's the team's first podium since the 2014 Australian Grand Prix. The moment was surreal. Sainz hadn't yet realised he'd officially podiumed when he celebrated in Parc Fermé, his cousin and manager even asking, "Are you kidding me?" Since the day he was born, he's been waiting for this moment. He became only the second driver in F1 history to score a podium without standing on the top 3 during the ceremony. Teams, fans, and pundits hailed it as overdue justice, a well-deserved reward for 101 races of consistency, grit, and near misses. Sainz's journey didn't end there. His steady performances caught Ferrari's eye, earning him a seat alongside Charles Leclerc in 2021. He became a reliable scorer, third in Monaco, second in Hungary, and multiple podium finishes through 2021. Sainz then delivered his maiden F1 victory at the 2022 British GP, alongside pole position that weekend. Yet, that 2019 Interlagos result remains compelling. It wasn't just his first podium, it was the moment Sainz proved that in F1, persistence pays. A reminder that for some drivers, patience isn't just a virtue, it's the path to glory. First-time wonders, 23 drivers, one debut podium. Now let's flip the script. While Hulkenberg and Sainz took the scenic route, 23 drivers in F1 history have done the unthinkable. Stepped onto the podium on their very first race. Two modern examples stand out. Lewis Hamilton, 2007 Australian Grand Prix. The hype was already sky high when Hamilton debuted for McLaren in 2007, but no one expected this. In Melbourne, he qualified fourth and then shocked the world by overtaking his teammate, reigning world champ Fernando Alonso, into turn 1. He ran with the leaders all race and finished P3 behind Raikkonen and Alonso. First race, first podium, and the beginning of one of the greatest careers in F1 history. Kevin Magnussen, 2014 Australian Grand Prix. Kevin's F1 debut mirrored Hamilton's, also in Australia, also for McLaren. He qualified fourth, moved up after a strong start, and finished P3 after Daniel Ricciardo was disqualified. It was a dream debut. But unlike Lewis, Kevin's career never quite hit the same heights. That first podium, it's still his only one. Some drivers needed years to break through, but eventually they did. Felipe Massa took 52 races to finally stand on the Formula One podium. Once he got there, however, he became a consistent frontrunner, nearly clinching the World Championship in 2008 in one of the sport's most dramatic finales. Daniel Ricciardo's journey was equally long. After 57 races spent bouncing between backmarker HRT and the midfield Toro Rosso, his moment came in 2014. In Canada, racing for Red Bull, he pulled off a surprise victory that also marked his first career podium, kicking off a run that made him one of the most respected overtakers on the grid. George Russell endured 55 races before earning his first top 3 finish. Stuck in uncompetitive Williams machinery for much of his early career, Russell finally seized his chance when promoted to Mercedes. His P3 in the rain-soaked Spa Grand Prix of 2021 validated years of perseverance and showcased his raw talent. Max Verstappen, despite his prodigious skill, still had to wait 23 races before breaking through. But when he did it in style, winning on his Red Bull debut in Spain 2016, becoming the youngest race winner in F1 history. Sebastian Vettel's rise mirrored that of a fairy tale. It took him 22 races, but his triumph at Monza in 2008, driving for the underdog Toro Rosso, wasn't just his first podium, it was his first win. In treacherous conditions, the young German stunned the world and launched what would become a legendary career. Michael Schumacher, on the other hand, needed just 8 races to make his mark. In 1992, the future 7-time champion secured his first podium, a moment that hinted at the dominant force he would soon become. Then there's Lance Stroll, often a lightning rod for criticism. The Canadian silenced many doubters when he claimed a surprise P3 in Baku 2017, just his 8th Formula One race. Love him or loathe him, the result proved that on the right day, Stroll could deliver. So what does this tell us? Podiums in Formula One are more than just trophies. They're validation, they're redemption, and sometimes they're pure chaos. Whether you're Nico Hülkenberg, still fighting after 200+ races, or Lewis Hamilton, announcing your arrival in race 1. Everyone's journey is different, but when that champagne sprays for the first time, the wait, no matter how long, always feels worth it.